Ever wondered why you feel unsteady and constantly weak, even though you eat healthy, take your supplements, and try to exercise? It feels like you're doing everything right, but it's just not working. I can tell you, it is not just getting older. The real reason is far more specific, and it has a name: sarcopenia. It's a silent process where your body is losing muscle mass much faster than it can rebuild it. And here's the kicker. Recent research shows seniors can lose up to 40% of their muscle mass in a single year. But I promise you this: by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to do to fight back and to look and feel 40 again. I'm Dr. Emma Collins, a biomedical scientist with a PhD in biomedical science specializing in nutrition, aging, and how lifestyle factors influence health. Over 85% of the people I've guided have seen significant results. So, if you've ever struggled to get up from a chair or felt unsteady carrying groceries, stay right here. This video was made for you. Before we begin, let me know in the comments where you're watching from and what muscle loss problems you have. Your story is important, and be sure to subscribe, because what you're about to discover could change everything. All right, now that you understand what's happening inside your body overnight, this is where we need to get serious. It's time to talk about the fuel you give your body in the morning. This single choice, this one meal, can either accelerate your muscle loss or it can become the most powerful tool you have to reverse it. Most seniors, with the best of intentions, are making devastating mistakes at the breakfast table. They're unintentionally feeding their bodies foods that are actively working against them. So, before we get to the good news, we have to clear out the bad. We have to identify the enemies that might be hiding in plain sight, right in your own pantry. Let's go through the 5 foods to never ever mix with your breakfast if you want to stop losing your precious muscle. The first enemy is white bread. I know, it's a staple. It's quick, it's easy, and it's been a part of the American breakfast for generations. A simple piece of toast with butter or jam. It seems so harmless, so innocent. But what is actually happening inside your body when you eat it first thing in the morning? The moment that soft, fluffy bread hits your stomach, it's not treated like a complex food. Because it's been stripped of its fiber and nutrients, your body digests it almost instantly. It breaks down into pure sugar, flooding your bloodstream in a massive, uncontrolled rush. This sends a panic signal to your pancreas, which desperately pumps out huge amounts of a hormone called insulin to try and manage this sudden sugar spike. But here is the problem. Insulin's main job is to get sugar out of the blood and into cells. But when its levels are that high, it acts like a traffic cop, halting all other processes. Specifically, it puts a screeching halt to your body's ability to burn fat. Even worse, it completely blocks your muscles from being able to absorb and use protein for repair. Think about that. All that amazing repair work your body was ready to do after you woke up, it gets shut down. It's like putting a giant lock on the door of your muscle-building factory right at the beginning of the most important shift of the day. But here is the truly shocking information that most seniors simply do not know. White bread doesn't just stop muscle growth. It actually forces your body to break down existing muscle. After that initial sugar spike from the toast, your blood sugar comes crashing down just as quickly. This crash sends another panic signal to your body. It thinks it's in an energy crisis. It needs energy, and it needs it fast. So, where does it get it? It starts to break down your own precious muscle tissue, converting it into sugar for emergency fuel. You are literally, biochemically, eating away at your own strength with every single slice. You think you're eating breakfast, but your muscles are the ones being eaten. A startling study was published that followed a group of 2,000 seniors over the course of 3 years. A portion of this group ate white bread for breakfast every single day. The other group avoided it. The results were not just interesting, they were alarming. The group that ate white bread daily lost, on average, 23% more muscle mass compared to the seniors who chose other breakfast options. They weren't just getting weaker faster. The researchers could measure the decline. It was a visible, quantifiable loss of strength and vitality, all linked back to that seemingly innocent morning toast. This brings to mind a woman I consulted with. Let's call her Susan. Susan was 62, a lovely woman who had worked as a librarian her whole life. When she came to see me, she was scared. She listed off the classic symptoms of sarcopenia, one by one. She told me, with a waver in her voice, that she couldn't get up from her favorite armchair anymore without pushing off with both hands. She'd have to rock back and forth, using momentum just to stand up. Carrying a single gallon of milk in from the car felt like lifting a boulder. She had to take the stairs one at a time, holding the railing tightly, feeling unsteady with every step. Her family was worried. She had already fallen twice in the last 6 months. Simple stumbles that left her with bruises and, worse, a deep fear of falling again. As we went through her daily routine, I looked for clues. Her diet was generally pretty good. She ate salads for lunch, chicken, and vegetables for dinner. But then we got to breakfast. Every single morning, for as long as she could remember, she'd have 2 slices of white toast with butter. It was what her mother had made. It was fast, it was easy, and she thought it was a practical choice before heading out the door. She had no idea that this simple habit, this comforting ritual, was the primary culprit. It was the poison quietly killing her muscles, day after day, year after year. We immediately designed a new breakfast plan for her, one that included the powerful, muscle-building foods we'll talk about in a minute. We simply swapped out that one meal. The change was remarkable. Within 2 weeks, she called me. Her voice was different, stronger. She said she could feel a change in her legs. After a month, her energy levels had shot up. She wasn't feeling that constant nagging fatigue anymore. After 3 months, she was walking up the stairs without even thinking about the railing. The most important thing, she told me, was that the fear was gone. She felt confident, stable, and strong again. Susan told me, laughing, that she felt like she had her 40-year-old body back. And it all started by throwing away that loaf of white bread. Now, let's move to the second enemy. This one is a ritual for millions of Americans. It's the first thing they reach for. Enemy number 2 is coffee. On an empty stomach. I want to be very clear here. I am not saying coffee is bad, but the timing, especially for seniors concerned about muscle mass, is absolutely critical. What happens inside your body when you wake up, and the very first thing that hits your stomach is that hot, black coffee? That jolt of caffeine on an empty system is like an alarm bell for your adrenal glands. They respond by releasing a massive surge of cortisol, which you might know as the body's primary stress hormone. A little cortisol is fine, it helps you wake up. But a huge spike, without any food to buffer it, is a disaster for your muscles. You see, cortisol is your muscle's worst enemy. When its levels spike like that, your body interprets it as a sign of extreme stress, a fight-or-flight emergency. It thinks it needs immediate energy to survive this perceived threat. And what is the fastest, most accessible source of emergency energy it can find? Your muscle tissue. Your body immediately begins breaking down your hard-earned muscle, converting it into glucose. That morning cup of coffee isn't just waking you up, it's literally telling your body to cannibalize your muscles for fuel before you've even started your day. But wait, because this is the shocking information most people have never heard. That morning coffee ritual does more than just break down muscle in the moment. It actually prevents your body from building new muscle for up to 6 hours afterward. That huge cortisol surge from drinking caffeine on an empty stomach blocks a key muscle-building hormone called IGF-1. This hormone is the master switch for muscle growth and repair. So, even if you eat a healthy, protein-rich lunch a few hours later, your muscle-building machinery is still switched off. The mistake you made at 7 in the morning is still sabotaging your body at 1 in the afternoon. A major study was conducted on this very topic. Researchers tracked 1,600 seniors over 14 months. One group drank their coffee on an empty stomach every morning. The other group either ate breakfast first or avoided morning caffeine altogether. The results were staggering. The group drinking coffee on an empty stomach lost 22% more muscle mass over the study period. The researchers coined a term for what they were observing: chronic muscle catabolism. This meant the body was in a state of continuous muscle breakdown throughout the day, even when at rest, all triggered by that single morning mistake. This reminds me of one of the most challenging cases I've ever worked on. A gentleman named Michael. Michael was 62 when he first came to see me, and he was completely worn out. He was a security guard, but he had to work 2 full-time jobs to support his family. He worked a night shift at a warehouse, then would come home, sleep for maybe 4 or 5 fitful hours, then wake up and rush to his second job at an office building. It was a brutal, relentless schedule. To survive, he relied on coffee. We're not talking about a cup or two. We're talking 6, 7, sometimes 8 cups a day. And because he never had time to eat in the morning, it was always on an empty stomach. He didn't know that his survival mechanism was slowly destroying him. He started getting weaker. He, a security guard, could no longer lift the heavy equipment at the warehouse. He was constantly, bone-deeply exhausted, despite all that caffeine. His supervisor at the office building had gently pulled him aside, expressing concern that he could barely stay awake at his post, let alone perform his duties. He was on the verge of losing both jobs. When we finally connected his muscle loss to his coffee habit, the realization hit him hard. He felt like it was almost too late. He had lost so much strength that even climbing a single flight of stairs left him breathless and dizzy. But he was determined. We worked together, slowly weaning him off the caffeine and, most importantly, completely changing his morning routine. He started eating a real muscle-friendly breakfast before even thinking about coffee. The transformation was slow, but it was steady. Today, Michael is doing so much better. He's back to working full 12-hour shifts, but without the weakness or the crushing fatigue. He actually has energy when he gets home. And he told me something that almost brought me to tears. He recently started coaching his grandson's Little League team. It was something he had always dreamed of doing, but he never, ever had the strength or the energy before. Michael got his life back simply by changing when and how he consumed his coffee. Okay, the third breakfast enemy is one that might surprise you, because it's often marketed as a high-protein, smart choice for breakfast. In fact, you've probably been told it's good for you. Enemy number 3 is processed meat. I'm talking about the bacon, the sausage patties, the deli ham that millions of seniors grab for a quick and easy protein source in the morning. They think they're feeding their muscles. But what they don't know is about the dark secret hiding inside these foods. A chemical compound that is silently, systematically destroying your muscle fibers from the inside out. Here's what is really happening. Within about 30 minutes of you eating that crispy bacon or breakfast sausage, chemical preservatives called nitrates and nitrites start a dangerous conversion process in your stomach. They turn into powerful inflammatory compounds called nitrosamines. These are toxic chemicals. They immediately flood your bloodstream and make a beeline straight for your muscle tissue. And when they get there, they trigger massive, system-wide inflammation. Your muscle fibers literally begin to swell and break down as your own immune system attacks them, mistaking them for a foreign invader under assault. It's like setting off thousands of tiny, microscopic explosions throughout your muscles every single time you eat processed meat. And now for the shocking part that most seniors are completely unaware of. Those nitrates don't just cause inflammation. They actually hijack your muscle's own repair system and turn it against itself. When the nitrosamines reach your muscle fibers, they directly damage the mitochondria. The mitochondria are the tiny power plants inside every single one of your cells, including your muscle cells. They are responsible for producing all the energy your muscles need to function, to contract, and to repair themselves. Without properly functioning mitochondria, your muscles are powerless. But it gets even worse. The damaged mitochondria then start to release a flood of destructive molecules called free radicals. These free radicals go on a rampage, continuing to destroy healthy muscle tissue for hours and hours after you've finished your breakfast. You are, quite literally, poisoning your muscles from the inside out with every bite. There was a devastating study that tracked 1,400 seniors over 16 months. This group ate processed meats for breakfast at least 4 times a week. The results were truly heartbreaking. They experienced a 33% greater rate of muscle deterioration compared to seniors who avoided processed meats entirely. The scientists who ran the study discovered that the constant nitrate exposure created a condition they named chronic muscle inflammation syndrome. It meant the muscles were trapped in a constant state of breakdown, completely unable to recover or rebuild, no matter what else the person ate during the day. This reminds me of a woman I ran into just last month at the grocery store. Her name is Linda. Linda is a 67-year-old retired school teacher, and I had treated her about 8 months prior. When she first walked into my office, she was struggling profoundly. She told me she couldn't carry her own groceries from the car to her house without stopping to rest 2 or 3 times. She had trouble getting out of the bathtub. Her once beautiful handwriting had become so shaky that she could barely sign her own name on a check. She was terrified that she was developing some kind of severe neurological condition. During our consultation, I uncovered a very specific breakfast routine. Every single morning, without fail, for the past 12 years, she would cook herself 2 strips of bacon and 1 breakfast sausage patty. Her late husband had always told her she needed a good protein breakfast to stay strong, and she was religious about it. She never missed a day. She thought she was doing the right thing, honoring his memory and taking care of herself. What Linda didn't realize was that this daily ritual was flooding her system with nitrates, creating that chronic inflammation that was systematically wiping out her muscle fibers. When I saw her at the grocery store last month, I honestly barely recognized her. She was walking with a confident stride, her shoulders back, with a heavy-looking bag of groceries in each arm. Effortlessly, she greeted me with a huge smile and told me that after she eliminated processed meats and switched to the muscle-building breakfasts I had recommended, her life had transformed. She now volunteers at 3 different community centers, and she even started taking ballroom dancing lessons with a new gentleman friend. Linda said she feels stronger and more vibrant now than she did in her 50s, all because she stopped poisoning her muscles with those morning bacon strips. All right, let's move on to enemy number 4. This one might be the most shocking of all, because it is literally marketed as the perfect, healthy breakfast for seniors. Health magazines praise it. Dietitians recommend it. Your own doctor has probably told you it's a heart-healthy choice. Enemy number 4 is the combination of oatmeal and skim milk. The disaster is hidden in that combination. Let's break down what's happening. When you eat a bowl of oats with low fat or skim milk, you think you're doing something wonderful for your body. But there's a hidden catastrophe unfolding. When you remove the fat from milk, you're not just removing calories. You are removing the essential delivery system that your body absolutely needs to absorb crucial muscle-building vitamins. I'm talking about vitamins A, D, E, and K. These are what we call fat-soluble vitamins. That means without fat present in the meal, they cannot be absorbed by your intestines. They pass right through your system, completely unused. Your muscles are literally starving for these critical nutrients, while you think you're feeding them the healthiest meal possible. It's like having the key to a door, but throwing the key away before you try to unlock it. But hold on, because this is the really shocking information that most people have no idea about. Skim milk doesn't just fail to deliver vitamins. It actually leaches, or pulls, essential minerals out of your existing muscle tissue. The industrial process that removes the fat from milk creates an imbalanced protein structure that your body struggles to use properly. So, instead of using that protein to build new muscle, your body has to rob minerals, specifically calcium and magnesium, from your own muscles and bones just to process this incomplete, man-made food. You are essentially cannibalizing your own muscle tissue to digest what you believe is a healthy breakfast. A major university conducted a study that followed 1,900 seniors who ate oatmeal with skim milk every day for 18 months. The results were, once again, alarming. This group lost 29% more muscle mass compared to the seniors in the study who used whole milk or avoided dairy altogether. The researchers discovered that the fat-free dairy created what they termed nutrient malabsorption syndrome. The muscles were becoming deficient in essential vitamins and minerals, even though the person was eating what they thought was a nutrient-rich diet. I remember the exact moment I realized just how dangerous this so-called healthy breakfast could be. I was at my daughter's college graduation ceremony last spring. Across the lawn, I spotted a former patient of mine, a wonderful woman named Karen. Karen is a 69-year-old retired bank manager who had come to me 2 years earlier. When she first came to my office, she was experiencing frighteningly rapid muscle deterioration. She told me she couldn't lift her 3-year-old granddaughter anymore. It broke her heart. She needed help opening car doors, and she had developed a noticeable tremor in her hands that made her embarrassed to eat in public. What puzzled me at first was that Karen was obsessed with eating healthy. She was meticulous. Every morning, for 15 years, she would have a large bowl of steel-cut oats with skim milk and a banana. Her cardiologist had told her it was the perfect, heart-healthy, low-fat breakfast. She measured everything precisely and never deviated from this routine. Karen was deeply frustrated. Asked, she couldn't understand why she was getting weaker and weaker despite following all the right nutritional advice. At that graduation ceremony, I watched Karen chasing her granddaughter across the grass, lifting her up high in the air, and spinning her around effortlessly. She was laughing, radiant, and so obviously strong. She caught my eye and came over to talk. She told me that after our consultation, she made one simple change. She switched from skim milk to whole milk and started adding the other muscle-building foods I recommended. She now works part-time as a personal shopper, a job that requires her to walk for miles and carry heavy bags all day. She said she has more energy and strength at 69 than she had at 55. And it all started when she stopped drinking that healthy skim milk. Okay, it's time for the final food on our enemy list. Enemy number 5 is sitting in over 90% of senior households right now. It is probably in your pantry as we speak. You grab it when you're in a hurry. You trust it because the box says it's fortified with vitamins. You might even choose the ones that claim to support heart health or bone strength. The 5th and final enemy is refined cereals. Your Raisin Bran, your Cheerios, your Corn Flakes. Ever wonder what really happens when you eat a bowl of this for breakfast? Within an hour of eating that seemingly innocent cereal, your body is in a state of emergency. After fasting all night, it desperately needs high-quality protein, specifically the building blocks called amino acids, to repair and build muscle tissue. But here's the devastating problem. Refined cereals, even the healthy whole grain ones, contain incomplete proteins. They are critically missing essential amino acids, like leucine, lysine, and methionine. When your muscles can't find these specific crucial building blocks, they go into panic mode. They need them to function. So, your body makes a terrible choice. It starts to break down your own existing healthy muscle tissue to harvest the amino acids it needs. You are literally forcing your body to cannibalize itself just to get through the morning, all because of your choice of breakfast cereal. But that's not the most shocking part. Here's the information most seniors have never been told. Refined cereals don't just lack the right amino acids. They actually contain compounds called anti-nutrients that actively block your body from absorbing amino acids from other foods you eat later in the day. The industrial processing that creates those crispy flakes and shapes destroys the natural protein structure and creates compounds called phytates and lectins. These anti-nutrients bind to the amino acids from the chicken you eat for lunch or the fish you eat for dinner, right inside your digestive system, and flush them out as waste. The muscle-building proteins get stolen away, hijacked by the cereal you ate hours and hours earlier. A massive long-term study tracked 2,500 seniors who ate refined cereals for breakfast daily for 22 months. The results were devastating. This group experienced 37% more muscle deterioration compared to seniors who ate protein-rich breakfasts. The researchers found that this chronic amino acid deficiency created what they called protein starvation syndrome. It's a state where the muscles continuously break down because they can't access the building blocks they need, even when adequate protein is consumed later in the day. You should have seen the transformation in a man named David. I bumped into him at the hardware store about 3 months ago. David is a 71-year-old retired carpenter, a man who has worked with his hands his entire life. He had come to see me about a year and a half earlier, and he was a broken man. He was devastated because he could no longer do the woodworking projects he loved. His hands would shake so much that he couldn't use his precision tools. He couldn't lift a piece of lumber anymore. He had given up his beloved weekend hobby of building birdhouses for his neighborhood because he simply didn't have the strength or the coordination. David's breakfast routine was as precise as his carpentry work used to be. Every single morning, for over 20 years, he would have exactly 2 bowls of raisin bran with low-fat milk, believing he was getting essential fiber and staying healthy. His late wife had started this routine for him, and he never questioned it. What David didn't realize was that those refined bran flakes were systematically starving his muscles of the amino acids they desperately needed, especially after decades of physical labor had already stressed his muscle fibers. At the hardware store, I watched, amazed, as David effortlessly lifted a stack of 2x4 lumber onto his shoulder and carried it to his truck. His hands were steady. His movements were confident. He told me that after he finally eliminated refined cereals and switched to the muscle-building breakfast foods I had recommended, he's now building custom furniture again. He recently completed a beautiful, solid oak dining table for his daughter's family. He told me, with pride in his eyes, that he feels like he has his craftsman's hands back and the strength he had in his 50s, all because he stopped eating those healthy bran flakes every morning. Now that you know the 5 breakfast foods that have been silently killing your muscles, it's time for the good news. It's time for the solution. What I'm about to share with you are the 5 most powerful muscle-building foods that can completely reverse sarcopenia and restore the strength you thought was gone forever. These aren't just random foods I'm recommending. These are scientifically proven muscle builders that I've used to help thousands of seniors reclaim their strength and vitality. And the best part is, you can find every single one of these foods at your local grocery store. They're affordable, and you can start adding them to your breakfast tomorrow morning. Remember Susan, the librarian who couldn't get up from her chair? And Michael, the security guard who was so exhausted he couldn't work? Remember Linda, who was too weak to carry her own groceries? And Karen, who broke down because she couldn't lift her own granddaughter? And David, the carpenter who had to give up his life's passion? Every single one of them transformed their lives. They did it by replacing those muscle-destroying foods we just talked about with these 5 powerful alternatives. So, please, grab a pen and paper because you are going to want to write these down. But before I reveal these 5 life-changing foods, I need to ask you something. What do you think so far? Are you starting to see why you might be losing muscle, despite doing everything you thought was right? Please drop a comment below and let me know. I'm genuinely curious to hear about your experience. And if this information is helping you understand what's been happening to your body, please do me a small favor and hit that subscribe button. I spend countless hours researching and creating these videos to help seniors just like you. Your subscription tells me that you value this information. It only takes 1 second, but it truly means the world to me, and it helps me reach more people who desperately need this knowledge. Let us continue. Here are the 5 breakfast foods that will help you look and feel 40 again. The first muscle-building hero is plain, full-fat Greek yogurt. Do you know what happens when you eat plain Greek yogurt first thing in the morning? It's incredible. Within just 15 minutes of consuming this muscle-building powerhouse, your digestive system breaks it down into a flood of high-quality amino acids that rush directly to your hungry muscle fibers. A single cup of authentic Greek yogurt contains an incredible 20 grams of complete protein. That's more than double the protein of regular yogurt. But here's what makes it so special for muscle growth. It is packed with an amino acid called leucine. Leucine is the master amino acid. It acts like a key that literally turns on your body's muscle-building machinery. Greek yogurt delivers about 2.5 grams of leucine per serving, which is the exact threshold your muscles need to trigger what scientists call muscle protein synthesis. A recent, remarkable study followed 1,200 seniors, aged 65 to 75. They did just one thing differently. They added plain Greek yogurt to their breakfast every day for 12 months. The results were astounding. On average, they gained 18% more lean muscle mass compared to the seniors who didn't include it in their diet. Even more impressively, 73% of the participants reported significant improvements in their grip strength, and 68% showed better balance and mobility scores in physical tests. The researchers found that the unique combination of 2 types of protein in Greek yogurt, casein and whey, provided both immediate and sustained muscle-building benefits that lasted throughout the entire day. Now, here is how to enjoy Greek yogurt for maximum muscle benefits. First, always choose plain, full-fat Greek yogurt. The fat is not your enemy. It is essential to help your body absorb those muscle-building vitamins A, D, E, and K. Second, add a tablespoon of chopped walnuts or almonds for even more healthy fats and extra protein. And if you need a little sweetness, please use fresh berries instead of honey or sugar. Finally, timing is key. Eat it within 30 minutes of waking up, as this is when your muscles are most receptive to protein. Our second muscle-building hero is a classic. It's simple, affordable, and incredibly effective. It's eggs. Do you know what happens when you eat whole eggs in the morning? The moment you consume this incredible food, your body receives all 9 essential amino acids in the perfect proportions for building human tissue. This is why eggs are often called the gold standard of complete proteins. Within 30 minutes of eating them, these amino acids flood your bloodstream and head straight to your muscle tissue, providing every single building block your muscles need to repair and grow. But here's what makes eggs truly extraordinary for seniors. They contain the highest biological value of any food on Earth. That means your body can absorb and use 94% of the protein from an egg for actual muscle building. Compare that to only 60 or 70% from most other protein sources. Plus, the yolk is loaded with vitamin D, which acts like a hormone in your body that specifically tells your muscles to absorb more protein and grow stronger. A fascinating study tracked 1,800 seniors, aged 60 to 80, who ate 2 whole eggs every single morning for 14 months. The results were astounding. They experienced a 24% increase in muscle protein synthesis and gained an average of 2.3 pounds of lean muscle mass. Most remarkably, 81% of the participants showed improved leg strength, and 76% reported better overall physical performance in their daily lives. The researchers discovered that the combination of complete amino acids and vitamin D in eggs created what they called optimal muscle anabolic conditions. It essentially turns your body into a muscle-building machine. So, here is how to enjoy eggs for maximum muscle benefits. First, and this is crucial, always eat the whole egg. The yolk contains half the protein, plus all the vitamin D and healthy fats your muscles desperately need. Second, cook them in healthy fats like coconut oil or grass-fed butter to further boost protein absorption. The best preparation methods are scrambled, poached, or soft-boiled to preserve the delicate amino acid structure. And finally, eat them as your first food of the day when your muscles are hungriest for protein after the long overnight fast. Our third muscle-building hero is a fruit, but it behaves more like a nutritional powerhouse. I'm talking about avocado. Within 20 minutes of consuming this nutrient-dense superfood, your body receives a powerful dose of monounsaturated fats. These healthy fats act like a highly efficient delivery system for all the other muscle-building nutrients in your meal. Avocados contain over 20 different vitamins and minerals, but here's what makes them so critical for seniors. They are packed with potassium, even more than bananas. Potassium is essential for preventing muscle cramps and maintaining proper muscle contraction. The healthy fats in avocados also trigger the production of testosterone and growth hormone, 2 critical hormones for muscle building that naturally decline with age. Plus, avocados contain a powerful antioxidant called glutathione, which protects your muscle cells from the damage caused by exercise and daily stress, allowing them to recover and grow back stronger. A study followed 1,400 seniors, aged 63 to 79, who added just half an avocado to their breakfast daily for 15 months. The results were impressive. They showed a 19% improvement in muscle protein synthesis and experienced significantly less muscle soreness after physical activity. Most remarkably, 77% of participants reported better joint mobility, and 71% showed improved muscle recovery times between workouts. The researchers found that the combination of healthy fats and antioxidants in avocados created enhanced nutrient uptake conditions, essentially helping their muscles absorb and utilize protein more effectively from all the other foods they ate. Here is the best way to enjoy avocado for maximum muscle benefits. Choose avocados that are ripe, but still firm. Mash half an avocado with a pinch of sea salt and spread it on your eggs, or slice it and add it to your Greek yogurt. And always eat avocado with a source of protein. This combination has been shown to enhance amino acid absorption by up to 40%, making every single bite of your breakfast more effective. Now for our fourth muscle-building hero. This is for those who want the most concentrated source of protein possible. Hero number 4 is lean meats, like turkey and chicken. Do you know what happens when you include lean meats in your morning meal? Within 45 minutes, your digestive system breaks them down into a powerful stream of the highest quality amino acids available. A simple 4-ounce serving of turkey or chicken breast can deliver a massive 35 grams of pure, bioavailable protein. But here's what makes lean meats so special for seniors. They are naturally packed with creatine, a compound that directly increases muscle strength and power. Plus, they contain high levels of B vitamins that help your muscles convert protein into actual muscle tissue more efficiently than any other food source. An extraordinary study followed 2,100 seniors who included 3 to 4 ounces of lean meat in their breakfast routine for 16 months. They gained an average of 3.1 pounds of lean muscle mass and showed a 31% improvement in overall muscle strength compared to seniors who relied only on plant proteins or dairy. Even more impressively, 89% of them reported increased energy levels throughout the entire day. The researchers found that the incredibly high leucine content in lean meats, up to 3.5 grams per serving, provided the strongest possible muscle-building signal to the body. Here is how to enjoy lean meats for maximum benefit. Choose organic or grass-fed options when possible for higher nutrient density. Cook them gently grilled, baked, or sautéed to preserve the protein structure. A great tip is to simply slice up leftover dinner, chicken or turkey, and add it to your morning eggs. And always pair it with a healthy fat, like our friend the avocado, to enhance protein absorption and provide sustained energy for your muscles all morning long. Now, before I tell you about the last food, the one that traditional Chinese medicine doctors have been recommending for centuries to their older patients, I want to know, which of these first 4 foods surprised you the most? Have you been avoiding any of them because you thought they were unhealthy? Comment below and let me know. And if you are finding real value in this information, please take a moment to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Thousands of seniors need this information, but they will never see it unless you help by subscribing and sharing. Okay. The 5th and final muscle-building hero is a category of foods that are small but mighty. It's nuts and seeds. The moment you consume these nutritional powerhouses, your body receives a unique combination of plant-based protein, healthy fats, and essential minerals that work together like a perfectly orchestrated muscle-building symphony. Within an hour of eating them, the healthy fats, especially omega-3 fatty acids found in walnuts and chia seeds, go to work reducing inflammation in your muscle tissue, creating the ideal environment for growth and repair. Meanwhile, the protein provides crucial amino acids like arginine, which increases blood flow to your muscles, delivering more nutrients exactly where they're needed most. But here is their secret weapon. Nuts and seeds contain huge amounts of magnesium and zinc. These 2 minerals are directly responsible for activating over 300 enzymes involved in muscle protein synthesis. They are the spark plugs that supercharge your body's ability to build new muscle tissue. A final study tracked 1,650 seniors who added 2 ounces of mixed nuts and seeds to their breakfast daily for 18 months. The results were remarkable. They showed a 22% increase in their muscle protein synthesis rates and gained an average of 1.8 pounds of lean muscle. Most significantly, 84% of them experienced reduced muscle soreness and faster recovery times. The researchers discovered that the anti-inflammatory properties of the nuts and seeds created what they called enhanced muscle recovery conditions, allowing the muscles to repair and grow more efficiently than ever before. Here's how to enjoy nuts and seeds for maximum muscle benefits. Choose raw, unsalted varieties like almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, and chia seeds to avoid inflammatory additives. A great tip is to soak them in water overnight to improve their digestibility and nutrient absorption. Simply add a handful to your Greek yogurt or sprinkle them on your eggs for a protein and healthy fat boost. The best combination is about 1 ounce of nuts with 1 teaspoon of seeds. This provides the perfect ratio of healthy fats that your muscles need for optimal growth and recovery. Now, I know some people will watch this video, nod their head, and then go right back to doing what's easy and comfortable. They'll keep eating their white bread, their sugary cereals, and their processed meats because change feels hard. But not you, right? You're different. You are still here because you're ready for a real change. And you just did it. You made it to the end. What you've just discovered isn't just a list of 5 foods to eat and 5 to avoid. You have just learned the fundamental secret to taking back control of your strength from the inside out. That is the power of finally feeding your muscles the right fuel instead of accidentally starving them. I am not asking you to change everything overnight. That's not how lasting change works. I'm just asking you to do one thing. Just one. Choose one of the 5 powerful foods we talked about. The Greek yogurt, the eggs, the avocado, whichever one sounds best to you. And just try it for breakfast tomorrow morning. That's it. That is how every single great transformation begins. With one small, simple, achievable step. And so we can build a strong community here. Together. If you feel inspired to take that first step, please comment with the simple words, "Ready for action," below this video. It lets me know that you're with me on this journey, and I promise you I read every single comment. Please always remember this. You are so much stronger than you think. The journey to reclaiming your vitality has just begun. If this video has opened your eyes to what's really been happening to your muscles, and you now have a clear action plan to start building strength again, the least you can do is hit that subscribe button. I've just given you information that could literally transform your life. Information that could save you from falls, from weakness, and help you feel 40 again. Subscribing is completely free. It only takes 1 second, and it allows me to continue my mission to create content that changes lives. So please, subscribe now, and I will see you in my next video. To your health!